If you're struggling with energy, is that a food issue or is that a dehydration issue? The results may surprise you. At the time of this recording, I'm coming up on 38 years as a human performance coach, and the subject of fatigue is always an interesting one because some of the superficial responses and concepts would be you need to sleep more, and obviously that could be part of the equation. A lot of times people say, hey, you need to eat more food, and that is certainly part of the equation. And then you'll have other times people will say, you're dehydrated, that's why you're not feeling well. And there's a lot of weight to that statement as well. So let's partition off particularly the food versus the hydration. When you're looking at your calorie burn rate, this is a report from the Garmin dashboard, you have a very simple way to be able to see what your calorie burn rate is against what you're bringing in. We utilize an app called MyFitnessPal. Garmin allows that data to be pushed into your personal dashboard, and you're able to create what we refer to as a calorie gap report. How many calories are you burning versus how many calories are you consuming? When we see an extended period of time where you're not eating an adequate amount of calories, you run into a situation the acronym is referred to as REDS, Relative Energy Deficiency Syndrome. Essentially what it means is the amount of exercise that you're putting out is surpassing the amount of calories that you're taking in, and unfortunately it starts to lead to all kinds of health issues, which obviously will begin to undermine any performance capabilities that you may have. So when somebody comes to me and they say, Rob, I'm low on energy, the first thing that we look at is their calorie gap. If you're running a gap more than 200 to 300 calories on a daily basis, you're going to be running out of energy eventually. And it's gotten to a point where it's almost become symptomatic. We have a set of things that we look for athletically. We look at a certain amount of attributes mentally. And when somebody's chronically deficient on calories, you start to check all the boxes showing that there's a high level of dysfunction associated with inadequate calorie intake. We know that if you run calorically restricted for even a short period of time, your energy will pay the price. Now, when we get a little bit deeper into the nutrition, we can look at the blood work. We have a partnership with Complete Med Solutions where we do go in and we look at the health of the blood. We look at the total RBC, red blood cell count. We look at the hematocrit levels. We look at things like iron. We look at your B vitamins, B6, B12, your energy vitamins. The iron is a precursor to carrying hemoglobin in the blood. So if somebody says you're anemic, that means you're low in iron, and that could be a reason why you don't have a lot of energy. What I want to stay focused on is the very top, calories in versus calories out. That will definitely have an impact on your energy. Now let's go look at something that people don't stop to think about, and that's hydration as it relates to energy. When you look at the surface area of a cell, when a cell is properly hydrated, it has the ability to carry more oxygen simply because the surface area is bigger. So, and I say this as tongue-in-cheek, as politely as I can, there's a lot of people that are stepping over $1 to pick up a penny. They're thinking that their speed and their endurance is not where it needs to be, so they're over here working out extremely hard, which is very noble. The problem is you're overstepping the most easy element to fix, and that's proper hydration. If you go in the description box below, you have a link to my sweat rate calculator for free. I want you to become a student of that because your goal is to stay between 1% and 2%. If you sweat out, if your sweat rate is above a 2% loss, you will lose power, you will lose energy, you will lose speed, you will lose endurance. If you don't lose at least 1%, you've actually overhydrated and you run the risk of a condition known as hyponatremia. So if we come back to the original question, what could have an impact on your energy levels? It's going to be food, quantity, quality. If you're watching this video, I'm going to make an assumption that you're already good at eating fruits and vegetables and lean protein. What I'm concerned about is not eating enough of it. As you've heard me say publicly here on this channel, eating fruits and vegetables and lean protein is nutrient rich, but it's calorically not very dense. So when you have a high calorie burn rate, it ends up being a large volume of food, which can kind of mess with you psychologically. So if you're not getting, if you don't have the type of energy levels that you desire, Always start by looking at your quantity of food. Quality is assumed. And then we have to look at hydration levels. If you're properly hydrated, then we know that you're carrying the optimal amount of oxygen in the blood. Now you mix those two together. You've got good cell, your blood chemistry, the cell health is good. The cell is properly hydrated, means it carries more oxygen. Guess what? You're going to have naturally elevated energy levels. You put those two together, what's that do for your sports performance? It takes it to the next level. So all joking aside, please pay attention to your calorie intake and pay very close attention to your daily hydration. It'll be a game changer when it comes to health as well as performance. I hope this video answers any questions that you may have had. If you still have any questions or you have something you'd like me and my team to research, please feel free to send us an email, contact@coachrobb.com. If you haven't liked, subscribed, and turned on the notifications, I want to really encourage you to do so because we do put a video out every day and we want to make sure that we are getting your questions answered. These videos are here as a byproduct of what you've sent in. So thank you for your time today, and we certainly look forward to seeing you tomorrow.